it's very hard to explain to people what the park does because the results are not tangible. We don't give out resources. What happens at the park happens within the people. It happens in their spirits. It happens in their soul. They start remembering who they are. And that's not something you can necessarily measure, but we literally can watch it happen right before our eyes every single day.
You know, some things happened traumatically in my life about 10 years ago, and it's hard to become a person once you've lost that identity. Some people say you have to hit rock bottom, but you really don't. I mean, once you're homeless, that might not be rock bottom, but you know, you go live in the alley for a year and then you go get a job. And I think people don't realize how hard that is. You know, at the park, we don't ever do that. We don't ever just say get a job. We say, what can we do to help you go to your next?
When Robert and I first met, we were working for an agency that served the homeless, and we got to serve them on a daily basis, but because of the jobs that we had and the other responsibilities that we had, we didn't really ever have an opportunity to get to know them. And what we found out as they saw us on a daily basis and they began to realize that we cared, they began to talk to us and they began to try to open up to us and want to open up to us, but we didn't have the time. And it became very frustrating because we wanted to know them as well. But I think the huge turning point was one day Robert and I were driving downtown and we drove past some picnic tables that were just packed with people that were homeless, and there was no conversation going on. There was no expression on their faces. They were just sitting there, and there was such a complete look of hopelessness that we both looked at each other and we knew they needed a place to go during the day. They needed a place to go where they could feel productive, where they could feel valued, but more than anything else in the world, where they could know, be known, and find hope again.
The reality of it, it's just people. Homeless is not a disease. It's not something that can't be cured. And the more that they're kicked and ignored, the worse they get. They need to have a relationship. They need to have people who know their name, who recognize their face, who miss them when they've been gone for a day or two. And that's the biggest thing that I see that's so powerful is when somebody's been gone for a week or two, and for whatever reason, when they come in, I mean, they're hugged and loved, and everybody just is so happy to see them. And
when people come to the park, there is an expectation of being productive, there's an expectation of being respectful, and there is an atmosphere and a culture of dignity. And so when they come into the park, that culture not only penetrates into who they are, but they take that with them out and begin to affect their community and their culture. We talk about that all the time at the park, how you are changing the culture. And go out to your environment, go back to the shelter, go out to the streets and affect the culture and the environment around you. But I honestly believe that as we begin to bring those aspects of respect, dignity, acceptance, and value into those that are homeless, that they will go out into our community and the whole culture of downtown Amarillo and even in the other parts of the city where you see those that are homeless. I believe that we are affecting that for a change, and for a change that's positive and good.